Okay, we are moving on to building some JavaScript into our little website we've been working on. We're going to do it step by step. So download MogHub website Quick Start 9 and delete any other versions that you have on your computer. So you're going to download and you're going to unzip and take that and put it on your desktop. Open up Dreamweaver. Everything should connect up to that site because the names are all the same. Okay, and we're going to focus on the index page just for this little section, and we're going to put in some hand-coded JavaScript. So down at the bottom of the index page is this paragraph that contains a copyright logo or copyright icon and some text. So we're going to remove everything out of that P tag, but we're going to keep the P tag, and we'll just go inside there. Now, instead of us typing out JavaScript, and because it's easy to make mistakes if you don't actually know the language, and we are not learning the language in this module, where I have provided you with a text file. So if you go into the private folder in the files panel, you'll see there's a JavaScript code text file there. Double click on it. Copy all of the text in there, copy, and go to that paragraph tag and paste inside that paragraph tag. And we're just going to clean it up a little bit. So I'm going to just backspace. So you see we've got a script tag followed by a line which creates a variable which is called the date, and it uses a JavaScript method called newDate. It then writes into this paragraph the copyright symbol plus the date, but when we are, let me just make this full so that you can see, when we are using this date, we can get full year, we can get all different times of day, seconds, milliseconds, and so on. So we're just getting the full year, we're writing it in with the copyright. Then we're going to do another line to write our MogHub last modified. Then we're going to create a variable for the modified date, and we're getting the date again, but this time we're getting last modified. And then we're going to write that in, and that's the end of the JavaScript part. Okay, so there's the begin script, end script, that's the JavaScript part, and then we've got a line break, and we're just putting in the powered by sharp. Okay, so if you look down at the bottom now of your page, let me just go to full live view and just zoom in a bit, you'll see we now have a 2022 MogHub last modified, and it's got today's date. So this is the date that I'm working on this. Okay, so we're just going to do that on the home page. It's a little bit of JavaScript written into the code just to give you that experience. And now we're going to move on to the next part of JavaScript. So the next part that we're going to do is we're going to build an accordion into the bookings and the volunteer pages. So if we go and have a look, here it is here, you'll see this is what an accordion looks like. It's basically headings and information that is in the form of kind of cards that pop up. It's kind of a nice effect. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to full code view so that I can work, and I need to go to the bookings page. Let's just go back to code view, and we need to go after the H1. So I'm going to make a few blank lines here and then place my cursor after the H1 and go insert jQuery UI accordion. And you'll see that what it does is it creates this structure. Now you don't mess with this structure because this structure actually is what makes it work with the jQuery JS files. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut and plug into here the content from those columns. So here we have column 1. We're going to take the image, cut it, paste it where it says section 1. take the image from column 2, cut it, paste it where it says section 2, and take the image from column 3 and paste it where it says section 3. Now we're going to take the content for column 1, that's the H2 and the paragraph, cut those, paste them where it says content 1. We're going to take the H2 and the P for column 2, cut, and paste where it says content 2. And take the H2 and the P from column 3 and paste where we see content 3. So we've transferred all of that information into our accordion. We can now remove these articles. So articles column 1, column 2, column 3, down to here, leaving the BR clear fix. We need to leave that in place. Okay, so now that we've got that done, we need to save and test it. Now when you save, it's going to actually install the JS files that you need for this. So you can see suddenly under here you've got your CSS file that you've been working on, but now you've got all this other CSS here and JS and a whole lot of stuff. This is what drives jQuery. So we need to save that also. We're just going to go File, Save All. It says I need to save all of these things into your site. You have no choice. You've got to say OK. And now if you preview this page, you'll see that you have this accordion. Okay. And if you go back here and you do this on another page, you don't have to resave all of those jQuery assets and CSS assets. They will now already be saved. So if you see here under jQuery assets, you've got everything that you need to make that work. And you don't mess with that, leave it as it is. So we're going to do the same again, and I want you to try this on your own because I'm just going to speed up this section for volunteer. Okay, so there are a few problems with the code here. You should not have a double paragraphs, so I'm just going to remove the double paragraph tags. It's just cleaning up the code a little bit. Also, in terms of standards compliant HTML, you probably shouldn't have an H2 inside an H3. So that's something that we can fix. So let's just take the H2 out here. Okay, and let's test it. So we are on volunteer. Let's see if it works. Let's save it all and test it in the browser. Okay, there we go. Alright, and just to be consistent, let's go back to the bookings page and let's clean up some of that as well. So for our image at the top, that's fine, and then we've got H2s inside P tags here, and you know, I'm just going to leave it. I know it's not standards compliant, but it's going to kind of mess the formatting. When we say standards compliant, it's strictly speaking not right to put an H2 inside a P tag. It will still work, so I'm not going to stress about it. Alright, so we're ready to move on to the final part of JavaScript and jQuery that we're going to add into this site. Okay, so the last part of this is to build in some JavaScript into the gallery. Okay, so there's lots of ways that you can build in slideshows. You can go and get code online and follow the instructions. We're just going to do a whole thing ourselves here in Dreamweaver. So the first thing we're going to do is actually change the size of these images so that they're more like little thumbnails. So we're going to find the images in the main section here, and you can see that it's picked up the actual size of the images, which is 250 by 250. So for each one of these images, I'm going to change the size in the HTML to 100 by 100. So they'll still download as 250 by 250, but they'll display here as 100 by 100, but they'll be preloaded. Okay. And one more. Alright, so you'll see that all of the images are now small, and if I go to normal view, you can see that small little images, so kind of thumbnails. And then at the bottom here, just above the clearfix BR, we're going to add a div tag, so div, with an ID of preview area. Okay, and inside that div there, we're going to put in an image placeholder. So we'll just say image, and we'll just put in the first image as a placeholder. So source, and we'll go to images and we'll choose this first one. And we'll also give the image an ID of image preview. Okay, so it goes in there, and then after that we're going to put in an h1 tag, and we'll just put in the name of this first photo, so Fergie. Okay, so it goes in there like that. And we need to just change a few things about the positioning of this. So we're going to do that in CSS. So we're going to go to our CSS designer, we'll choose our style sheet, and we will go and make a selector for hash preview area, and we will set, so uncheck show settings, we will set text align to center. So let's go to clear both. Okay, and let's try putting in some padding now. There we go. Okay, just a bit of a gap there. Alright, and then also this Fergie, I want this to be black. So I'm going to make a new selector. In fact, I can actually just do it here. No, I need a new selector, sorry. So it's going to be hash preview area space h1, and we'll just set the text color to black. Okay, so now that's our little preview area. We're also going to need to give this h1 an ID so that we can hook into it. So we're just going to say ID, whoops, ID, and we'll say image name, h1 image name. Okay, that's all good. Alright, so we've got this preview area. Now what I want is when I click on each one of these images, I want it to change the image here in the preview area, and I want it to change the text, and we're going to use behaviors for that. So to access behaviors in Dreamweaver, you need to go out of live view and into design view. Okay, and we'll just zoom out a bit. Well, it's not doing anything there, but what we need to do is select the first image, go to Window, Behaviors, and here is this panel. We're going to add a behavior which is going to be swap image, and we're going to go and find we need to give that placeholder image a name. We did, I think we called it oh, it's image preview. Yeah, sorry, I'm being dumb here. Image preview, which we're going to change to the big version, which will be gallery 1 Fergie, and we will restore image on mouse out. In fact, I'm going to actually remove that. And the images will be preloaded because they're already loaded here as well. So I'll leave that on anyway. Alright, so we're going to change from an event of on mouse over to on click. So we'll say on click, swap the image to this one here. Okay. Then we're also going to add another one, which is going to be set text of container, and the container is going to be the one called image name, and we'll set the text to Fergie, and we're going to make that on click as well. So that's the first image. Now we're going to select the second image, okay, and we're going to say swap image preview, and this is going to be Tinks. We don't want to restore image on mouse out, and we will set the event handler to on click, and then we will change set text of container, and it's going to be image name to Tinks, and okay, and that'll be on click as well. And then I'm going to carry on doing this for all of these, and I'll speed it up so this video isn't too long. Okay, so we've done all of our behaviors, so let's just test this. So file, save all, and then go to real-time preview, Chrome. And what should happen is when I click on each one of these images, it gives me a larger preview down here, and it changes the text. Okay, and that's all being driven by JavaScript that's been automatically generated by Dreamweaver. And if you look in your code view, the JavaScript is actually quite comprehensive. So up at the top here is a big section of script from there to there that Dreamweaver has automatically written, and then you'll see with a lot of these images now you have on-click events and a whole lot of JavaScript. So this has all been done automatically for you in Dreamweaver. Okay, this is just an add-on bit to this tutorial, because I just think that the gallery page can be improved a little bit. So if you want to carry on and do this, by all means, it's just going to make the user experience a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is in code view we're going to find those images, and we're going to take them out of these columns. So where you have H1 gallery, you're just going to take the article and col one attribute out, and then take the end article out as well. And we're also going to take the figure caption out so that it's just the images. So again here, article. So we're not messing with any of the JavaScript that we created. We're just taking the articles and the figure captions out. Okay. And let's just see what that looks like now. Okay, so now the images are all on their own. Oh, we've still got Fergie left in there. That's this one here. Okay, and then I'm also going to just change the size to 75 instead of 100. So I'll just do this and speed this up. Okay, so the images are much smaller. I'm going to switch to live view so that we can see what's happening here. Alright, and then what we're going to do is center this area here. So that is going to be gallery. Let's see what we've got. Gallery membership. Okay, I'm just going to check in my code where this is. So we use our up arrow, H1 main gallery. Okay, so I think that the images, these images all need to go into a div. 5, 6, so we'll select all of those images and Control or Command T, a div with an ID of, let's call it thumbnails. Okay, and then we'll make a selector for thumbnails, and we'll set text align to center. Okay, so the images are centered. Then we have this preview area, which we want to just change this padding so that it comes up a little bit. And then what we're going to do is actually increase the size of the image in there. So I'm just going to make a new selector, hash preview area.img, and we'll set the width to a percentage. I'll make it nice and big like that. Okay, we'll round it up to 50%. Okay, and the text is fine. So that actually looks a lot better. So let's just save all and preview this. Okay, and the images will change. Okay, that looks a lot better, and let's see what the responsive version looks like. Okay. Okay. I think for the responsive version we'll set the width here to 100. So we'll go back here, we'll go to the media query, and then we'll set a selector to image preview area, image width percent. That's working. Okay, and let's just set that to 100%. Okay, and maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, it's a little bit off center because remember we put in some padding for the main area, but that's fine. Okay, so for our media query it's a little bit bigger. Let's save all, let's go back and preview that. Okay, so now we've got a nice little slideshow preview thing, and then for desktop version like that. Okay, so that's just improving it a little bit, just some tweaks. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you next time.